to you about dicks. That's right. Tallywhackers, Johnsons, or if you're really fancy, Russell the Love Muscle. It's true, dicks are quite literally everywhere. And they have infested our everyday lives through film, TV, and in my case, social media. Because you see, I have this friend called James. Well, I say friend, I mean Facebook friend. And by Facebook friend, I mean I've never spoken to this man, and I just accepted him on Facebook without even looking at his profile. And I do this very often, but this means that my Facebook wall has turned into the kind of thing that gets tracked by the government for irregular behaviour. And my good friend James does not help, because my good friend James likes to post links to hentai pages he's been liking recently onto my Facebook feed. And if you don't know what hentai is, I looked up a really nice definition on Urban Dictionary for you. And it says that it is cartoon porn for 13-year-old nerds and virgins. Now, I don't look for much in a friend, but one thing I do is that you don't tell me what you've been masturbating to recently for me to look at my convenience. I don't need that. I really don't. But anyway, he does that, and there's nothing I can do. But there is something I can do, because I decided, for my good friend James, I was going to scour the internet and look for any how-tos on how to stop masturbating, just so I would not have to look at his creepy shit anymore. Unfortunately, the results were pretty mixed on that, and I'll pull up what I found right now. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, number 1, think of your happy place. Isn't him thinking about his happy place that got us to this place in the first place? I'm sorry. Number 2, get a dog. I have a dog, and he's called Boomer. And I'm sorry to say, but he is the randiest thing I've ever come into contact with. He has humped my family. He's humped my friends, and he's even tried to hump my garden gnomes before. Number 3. Okay, there were some I actually agreed with, I'll admit that. For instance, break off your relationship with it. Yeah, sure, because it's a pretty abusive relationship considering the amount of beating involved. And then, masturbation can be healthy and harmless. I agree. But the issue of putting this at the end of your article, which is where it mostly was, is that it contradicts everything you've just said. It's like saying to a serial killer, oh no, you should never kill people. It's cruel, it's horrible. But you know what? If you kill the average lawyer every now and again, that's fine. Number 4, oh, these ones are amazing. Wear pajamas that are difficult to open and yet loose and not constricting. And then right underneath, tie your hand to the bed frame. Okay, those don't even have sexual undertones, they have sexual overtones. And I also mentioned at this point that when the websites were coming up, it went health website, church, health website, church, health website, church. I won't tell you which ones came from which, but you can make that up for your own. FYI, the last one was church. And number 5, oh, this one was my favourite. Eat raisins. Eat raisins. If the raisin advertising conglomerate out there does not start using this right now, I will be deeply disappointed. I mean, just imagine it. Feeling randy? A couple of decrepit grapes might help out with that. That burly guy you're sharing a cell with keeps on looking at you funny. Shove a pack of Californias up there and you'll be fine! So in short, long story short, my good friend James is still posting porn to my wall, and there's nothing I can do about it. My life. Anyway, so all I'm trying to tell you guys out there, this is all I'm trying to tell you. Be respectful of your genitalia. Be considerate of your junk. You only have one set, and if you keep on flinging them about in the world, you won't have it for very long. But unfortunately for me, I never told this to my good friend and my good cousin Stevie, because my good cousin Stevie had something horrible happen to him, and I'm about to tell you all about it. I like to call this story My Cousin Stevie and the Snipping Witch Doctor. Because this sounds like the best Catherine Cookson novel you'd ever read. Okay, so I went to go and see my family in Africa, which I do very often. And I'd been there for a few days, and I only realised recently that my cousin Stevie and my uncle had mysteriously disappeared somewhere, and I didn't really know where. So I kind of went up to my auntie, and I just said, "Hey auntie, where did Uncle and Stevie go?" "Oh, they're not here." That doesn't tell me anything. Bloodness runs in the family, well done. So I went up to her again saying, "No, where are they?" And she said, "Oh, they're at Uncle Richard's home." My Uncle Richard, bless him, grew up in a swamp in Mombasa. And yes, there are wet places in Africa. I know that's shocking, sorry. But yeah, he was gone, and so was he. But I kept on asking my auntie, and finally she told me what actually was going on. My poor cousin Stevie, had been sent to that swamp in Mombasa to be circumcised by a witch doctor. And everyone was okay with this. Why? No, seriously, why would you let this happen? How could you let this happen? I have two options. Either A, you forgot to do it earlier, somehow, or B, you decided to do it later, which is infinitely worse, because it means that they had this baby on the day that my cousin Stevie was born, looking down at it, loving it, this cherished gift, this combination of the love my uncle and auntie have for each other, and they just kind of thought, "So are we snipping him now or later?" "Later? Okay, later." And there was nothing I could do, which made it even worse. I mean, I could have offered him raisins, but still, not really. But anyway. So he got it done. So it's such is life. Go figure. And it kind of went on and on and on. But after a while, because of, him getting circumcised in a swamp in Mombasa by a witch doctor, it's not the most hygienic, is it? Of things to do, is it? No. And so my poor cousin Stevie got an infection. Oh. Yeah, he did. So, for 3 whole months, my poor cousin Stevie walked around in a very long skirt like this. Just swinging side to side. It was very entertaining. It was like a pendulum of pain. It was very And what made the situation even better was that my grandmother, with her infinite wisdom and her infinite tact, said, looking at my cousin stumbling off to school, and thought, "Well, at least he's embracing his feminine side." And finally, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share with you some of the best chat-up lines I have ever received on a site I like to call Tinder. I go on it way too often, don't ask. Anyway, and if you'll excuse me, but I will have to say that some of the men I meet on Tinder are the biggest wankers I have ever encountered in my natural life. So, would you like to hear them? Yeah. Alright. On a scale of 1 to America, how free are you tonight? If I were a watermelon, would you spit or swallow my seeds? And my all-time favourite, oh, I love this one. Do you want to go half-seas on a bastard child? Thank you!